Time will tell that. You know, we just had a discussion then, coaches, players together, and you know that was certainly talked about. That was brought up. You know, our challenge is to. We know the season is particularly long, and you know we just went through a few things then. You know, particularly disappointing. You know, angry players, angry coaches, angry supporters, angry club. Particularly disappointing. You can, you know, train one way for 4 to 5 months and then come out and what we've been training be unrecognisable on a footy field. You know, we didn't deal with Port Adelaide's speed and aggression on their defence or their offence. You know, they played particularly well, and you know we just couldn't stand up. We didn't see that coming. You know, we were pleased with our preparation. We were pleased with our relative competitiveness throughout the NAB series. You know, our training. You know, we've got to a level where we believe we train like an AFL team with intensity, and under the heat of round one, not much stood up.
How does that happen after a whole summer of working towards improvement?
Yeah, I've absolutely no idea. Like I said to you then, you know, until we go through the tape, we were sitting there, you know, we see what you see. We saw, you know, Port Adelaide come out with their competitive spirit early and got to the ball first. There were, I suppose there were some passages during the game, in particular the second quarter, we thought we wrestled, you know, we got stuck in an arm wrestle. You know, we're still extremely inconsistent with our efforts. You know, we talked about then, the players are really honest with each other and honest with me, and we talk about, you know, who's a competitor, who's not a competitor, and the general feeling in the room was everyone's a competitor at times. There weren't too tick ticks that people were able to get up in front of each other and say, well, I thought you competed all day. The third quarter, that was an interesting one. We got outscored badly, but the first 15 minutes, I don't think there was a score. We thought that passage of the game, you know, we competed. That was probably the quarter where we attempted to actually move the ball through the corridor and get a little bit of speed, but our execution was poor, and Port Adelaide were able to capitalise significantly on that. Once that happened, it was clear to everyone at the ground that our confidence dropped unbelievably in that last quarter. And you know, what we spoke about at three-quarter time was again unrecognisable when the quarter started. And it is a brutal game, and we've got ourselves to a level where we can train properly and train with intensity, and you know we can do a little bit of it in a game. It's a long road. You know, there's no other way to mince words. You know, coaches, players, the club, you know, get angry with performances like that, and you know, there's no other way unless you guys can think of a way. There's no other way than, you know, just stick at it and be competitive for as long as we can. Be combative, keep an elite mindset going. That's where we're at.
Is there an issue that you can't actually do the basics at some stages?
Clearly.
I mean, space for the backman away from the forwards, that sort of thing.
Yep. Again, we see what you see. You know, we trained a particular way over summer. You know, we just talked about in there, asked a few questions. Okay, boys, when we've got the football, how do we want to move it? And that was the discussion we were having. When the opposition have the football, what does that look like? Our stoppage stuff, what does that look like? And you know, if it was an exam, it's 100% correct. But when the exam's on, in between first siren, last siren, couldn't get the job done.
Jack, how frustrating is that? Hitting the side out there and just didn't get close?
Like Neeld said, I didn't see it coming. The consistency that we've seen in our training over the summer has been, we've taken our training to a new level, and I, along with a lot of others, expected to see the reflection out in the field, and we just didn't get it, and just inconsistent through our effort, too much throughout the game, and it clearly cost us. But why, I have no idea. Like Neeld said,
You look shell-shocked right now.
We
Is that
are.
accurate?
Yeah, we are.
it's a pretty good way to sum it up, I reckon.
Mm.
Jack, I know you're going through this together, but do your guys feel like you're letting Neeld down?
Yeah, I mean, we are all in this together, and yeah, there is a certain seat. We feel like we let the supporters down most of all, and we're frustrated, and I know that the supporters are frustrated. We're a frustrated club at the moment, but that's the one thing, we're not going to start blaming people, individuals, to make us fracture. There's a lot of guys that probably have to have a good hard look at themselves, but we'll stick together through it. That's what we do know we'll do. So we've obviously got a lot of work to do, and like Neeld said, the only answer is to do it on the track and to keep doing it on the track. But that's all I've got for you at the moment.
What's the latest on Mitch Clark's ankle?
He just rolled his ankle. I suppose everyone in the grandstand, when we saw him clutch his leg, there was minor panic stations, but then we quickly worked out different foot, and then they just re-strapped his ankle. And the decision was a simple one. The doctor said, "Oh, he can go back out of here, be fine." But we just made the decision just to give him an extra quarter recover before next Saturday night.
In a positive, Jack Viney and Jones are very impressive on their debut.
That is a positive for those two players, no question. But when really we probably had 3 acceptable performances on the day, and 2 of them came from debutants. It's hard to see a team positive in that.
How does Jack actually reconcile what you just said there? Is he upbeat? Is he shadow? Not that piece from
Difficult to talk on behalf of someone. I haven't asked Jack how he's feeling. Jack spoke to the players then. He's got a mature head on his shoulders, and he acquitted himself well in his AFL debut. And the players got to hear from Jack a little bit. He is if it's possible, when you play your first game, he's probably been a Melbourne person longer than anyone else in that room. And he just spoke about that, which is from his heart, which is fair enough.
Are you tempted to do something radical as far as next week, team selection, and the way you approach this week? What do you do?
Yeah, we'll just reinforce. I suppose the radical thing to do would be actually to play the way we've been training. That would be radical enough. Grimesy said we're all frustrated, and we got nowhere to hide. We'll read about the game plan, and we're going to go round this and round that, but if you guys come and analyse us training, we actually fly through the middle of the ground and we kick it in there and we run and we handball it and we do all these sorts of things, but then under the heat of the battle we just couldn't get the job done. So no radical. We understand that it's a damn long road, and it's a hard one, but we've started down this path of, we the whole club feel really strongly that the only way to climb up the ladder and to stay there is to be as competitive as what we possibly can, and demand adherence to elite training, and demand elite adherence to structures and things like that. That's the beginning you brought up before about the basics. Absolutely, there's no easy way out, and that's it. The worst thing to do, would be to throw everything out. There'll be some positives. Jack's leadership, Viney's debut, Matt Jones's debut. Nathan Jones played. He was up against one of the better taggers who's been around for a decade or so. He performed well. We got Mitch back. Yes, he was underdone in terms of match fitness, but certainly not medical. He'll be better for that run next week and better the week after. The difference in our club from training standards from 12 months ago is unrecognisable, and we just got to stick at it and just keep at it. And as Grimesy said, there was the boys. They understand that clubs are all about togetherness, and the whole club's hurting. That's clear. No one saw that coming, and had everyone around the club had a right to feel a little bit of optimism coming to the ground, given what we've dished up on the track, and we thought we were competitive in the NAB Cup, and just didn't get it done under pressure. We didn't deal at all, like I said before, with Port's speed all day. We didn't cope.
Jack, how does the booing ring in your ears? What does it do?
How's the what, sorry?
The booing from the crowd.
Honestly, when you're out there, you don't take much notice of it. The crowd makes a lot of noise, and you try to focus on what you're trying to do. But yeah, like walking off the ground, and when you hear some of the stuff that they're saying, I think fair enough. It wasn't good enough what we dished up today, and I'd be frustrated too if I was sitting there as a Melbourne supporter. So.
Did you carry that around for a while, or do you?
No, footy's a game. You got to move on pretty quick. You can't dwell on things like that. You can't let that get to you, because in 6 days' time we're playing the Bombers here on Saturday night. So you've honestly got to move on from losses like this pretty quick, because if you don't, it'll drag on to next week and the week after as well. So as of tomorrow, we've moved on.